I'm going to get lit tonight.
Lickety, lickety, lit. We're drinking some Cosmic Mutant IPA from Oscar Blues.
Well, that's good, and it's dangerous because it does not taste like 7% alcohol.
Really?
It just tastes like a regular IPA.
Ooh.
They do say that about IPAs, though. When you first start brewing beer,
Oh,
they tell you
damn,
to
that's
go with
good.
IPAs because they mask any imperfections in it. So
It's very florally. I don't know. I like IPAs.
I love them. They're Indian Pale Ales. They're good.
So good. But then you get into the dangerous territory of the doubles and the triples. Then you can taste it.
Oh, Lord.
But the biggest thing you can taste is that goddamn Big Bad Baptist.
Yeah, oh, Lord.
I can still taste it.
I want another one of those. It was literally like a punch to the face.
Maybe next week I'll pick one up.
God, ow. Why do I feel drunk?
I think they have one. It's got like pancakes and syrup on the bottle, so it's like a breakfast one.
I bet that's good.
I'm gonna get it next week.
And we also got a little bit of whiskey tonight. Some Screwball peanut butter whiskey. I'm going to actually take a sip of this right now.
Let's do it. Cheers to Enter the
Cheers.
Abyss. Ooh, that's smooth. Holy shit.
Peanut butter and
That
whiskey.
doesn't taste like whiskey at all, man.
Dude,
that's dangerous.
Yeah. Get lit.
We have to be careful tonight because we got two things that are alcoholic that don't taste like alcohol.
You know, they say with Europeans, they have like a lot of them have a genetic mutation to where when you drink alcohol, it releases more dopamine. And that's why some people get super addicted to alcohol.
Oh, man.
It's like a huge dopamine rush. Anyways.
I'm going to tell this story, though, when we were at the Jazz game a while ago. And me and Cleet went to an NBA game with the Utah Jazz here in Utah. And they serve alcohol there. And we got, what was it, Amberbach?
Oh, yeah.
And we were drinking it. And Cleet went so red. I thought he was like boiling on the inside.
I got the Asian mutation where they can't metabolize a certain thing in alcohol. I think it's yeast or something like that. But if I drink certain beers, my face just like Hefeweizens do that to me. I guess Amberbach does.
Amberbach's good.
I think it's a yeast thing because whenever I can't see through the beer, I usually, man, I feel it too.
Well, we've had a lot of
steam.
stouts. I don't see you do that with stouts.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. So I was gonna say, you showed me the Intruders. Short, scary story on YouTube.
Love it.
And I was bored, and while we were waiting for you to come over, and I just went on there and started watching a bunch of short horror again. I love them. Found two good ones I really liked. The first one was The Face of God.
Oh.
Like, I read that, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be good. And basically, this lady's, like, practicing for a PowerPoint presentation, and she just has, like, a black screen. And she's like, most people see a black screen, but some people see what they call the face of God. She's like playing audio clips of how people describe God, and it's like creepy. Mm-hmm. Not going to spoil it, okay? But then she starts to see something coming through the screen. So check it out. The last one I watched was Don't Look at the Moon. Fantastic. This was like based off, I don't know what you call them, but it's like a IRG. God, I'm old. Anyways, it's essentially like people looking at the moon and they go nuts and they're trying to get other people to look at the moon. It's kind of like Bird Box, sort of.
Okay. So you look at it, you go insane.
Both of them really good. They're pretty short, but I love short horror. Very good.
I love how you can turn the smallest of concepts, like preparing for a PowerPoint, into a horror film.
Dude,
you need
the
next
Face
to
of God
nothing.
It was a masterpiece. It was so good.
Masterpiece.
It was like 4 minutes long.
Damn.
It wasn't M. Night Shyamalan. It was like literally what horror should be. Like
I would laugh if it was M. Night Shyamalan.
Man, it's like, it leaves the thing that's so provocative about those is it leaves so much to the imagination, because if that was like maybe an hour and a half film, I would say it would probably not be as good,
Well, yeah, because that's where a lot of horror films go wrong, is they try and over-explain, and then you're just like overkill with it.
So
those little short, like, horror bites, and they cut it off. You're like, God damn.
Check them out.
It's great.
Love them. Yes, bite-sized horror candy.
But while Cleet and I get sauced here. What is it, sauced?
Sloused, not sussed. Not getting
Not
suspicious. Why do you look so suspicious?
While we get all sussy. You Cleet, you're sus as
looking
fuck right
around
now.
the room.
Whoa. Why are you so sussy? While we get sauced, we're going back to Reddit for a thread called "What's the most mysterious thing that's happened in your life that you can't find any explanation for?"
I think being born's one for me.
I could explain that for you.
One day I just existed.
One day my eyes were really painful because this bright light just shone right on them. And I came out of this warm place.
Nobody exists on purpose.
Wow. Deep. It's a YouTube short. Nobody exists on purpose.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Let's go watch TV.
You're an idiot, and I can prove it mathematically.
All right, man. Let's jump in. Let's talk about the mysterious.
Okay, this comes from Triples of the Nova. My parents were found dead 5 years ago to gunshot wounds. God, we're starting off fucking heavy.
Gonna be one of these episodes.
And the police immediately ruled it a murder-suicide, but the local newspaper in their small town didn't publish their deaths. I wasn't allowed to see their bodies, and the police wouldn't give me a copy of the full report. So I have a lot of questions I'm going to be stuck with forever. Good God.
So small towns, man. Sometimes the police can be corrupt. Just saying. Maybe.
What, you think they had something to do with it?
Well, I mean, if they're being shady.
Why are you so suspicious?
All right. This one is from Robert O'Durian. When I was around 18, a friend and me were traveling in Europe. We were walking along a pleasant, quiet street in Rome one day and saw an elderly homeless man sitting on the street. He said to us, if he could guess our date of birth, could we give him some money? Of course we said okay. And he did it. He told both of us the correct dates of our birth. Never met him before, never saw him again. What the fuck?
That's one of them aliens.
Yeah, scam alert.
We started walking down the sidewalk and turned around and he was gone.
It's like, that'll be $200.
This also comes from Triples of the Nova. I guess he has a response. Thanks for all the comments. For those who have asked about why they won't release the records, basically they initially told me I could see them once the case closed. Well, the case closed and I made an informal request directly to the detective and he denied ever saying I could see them. I also showed what I did get to a private detective who worked with jurisdiction for years, and he said I'm missing several pages of documentation that I should have. I even had to fight to get my mother's autopsy. Funny thing about the autopsy, my mother very much did not have a spleen, but the autopsy shows she did, and even has a weight listed for it.
What?
It also said she had long, dark hair, and she had short blonde hair. I asked the medical examiner, and he said they used templates, and it may have been an error, and the blood may have made her hair look dark.
Something shady's afoot.
I called the sheriff's department a few months ago to ask questions about why they denied my FOIA request, and the new detective called me back and said I just need to trust that they did a thorough job, and that it's not like you see on TV shows. Yeah, I know. As far as their bodies go, they were both shot in the chest, heart area, so I figured I'd be able to see my mother at least to say goodbye. The coroner said I could arrange that with the funeral home. The day they received the bodies, they called and said they were so sorry, but they couldn't let me see them. They said it would be too upsetting. I argued against it, and they said the best they could do was let me see them covered. So I went to the funeral home, and they led me to a room with two bodies wrapped up in thick plastic, on ice. So did I say goodbye to my parents that day? Most likely, but do I know for a fact it was them? No, I didn't get that closure. All I want from the records is to know what tests they did. Did they fingerprint the back door, which was open when they got there? What testing did they do on the gun? What was on the neighbor's security footage he turned over? They won't answer any of this, and I do realize that while my father was never violent or abusive, people do wild, unexpected shit. I just want some transparency.
Cover up.
Lastly, they found a strange law enforcement badge on my father and asked me repeatedly if he was law enforcement. The detective said they couldn't get answers on that, and their assumption is he may have some kind of informant. That he may have been some kind of informant. Which makes me wonder how far they looked into this, because that could be a motive for someone. That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Just twists and turns at every angle.
And maybe he was in witness protection. He got caught.
Maybe.
All right, this one is from Lee's House 90. My mom is a type 1 diabetic. Has been since she was 11 years of age. When me and my little brother were very young, I was around 7, he was 5, I came into my mom's room to find that she was acting extremely strange. She looked almost drunk and wasn't really responsive. I went to pick up her insulin needles to see if she would react to that, and she didn't. So I panicked and phoned my nan, who told me to put the phone down and dial 999. For some reason, I was so frightened and confused I didn't. I sent my little brother outside to get help while we tried to get my mom to respond to me. My brother came back in crying, saying he couldn't find anyone, and then about 5 minutes later, this woman just walked into my mom's bedroom, called me by name, and my brothers, said she knew my mom and help was coming. She was calm, soft-spoken, and had a warm feeling about her. I didn't recognize this woman, and neither did my brother. Shortly after, the ambulance arrived and got my mom's sugar levels back up. And when I went to find the woman, she was gone. Like, literally gone. When my mom came around, I explained to her about the mysterious woman and what she looked like. And my mom had absolutely no idea who she was, and we never saw her again. If she didn't help us, my mom would eventually have died. Still gives me shivers now. He was a guardian angel or something.
Damn. Some random lady just walks into the house. Hey, I know your mom.
Maybe it was a dead relative. You know, you never know. You never know.
Never know. This comes from the Auto Memories doll. When I was a kid, I participated in Big Brothers Big Sisters, which if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much just a mentorship program in the US. I basically just hung out with this dude named Chris for a couple hours a week. We'd go to the movies, out to eat, he'd help me with my homework, that kind of thing. One day he tells me he's going to Baltimore for a couple weeks and when I should expect him back. The days roll around and I give him a call to see if he's back yet. A man whose voice I didn't recognize answered and I asked if Chris was there. He said no. I asked him when Chris would be back, just kind of thinking it was someone staying at his house or watching his dogs or something. But he said that I had the wrong number, that he and his wife had lived there for years. There was never a Chris there. I double-checked in the phone book to see if it was the right number, which it was because I had it circled. I was confused, so I just said sorry and hung up. And I never heard from Chris ever again.
Oh my God. Maybe he went to an alternate dimension, you know?
He's Big Brothers Big Sisters interdimensional.
I like this. Maybe Chris went to jail and didn't want to disappoint you. Oh, sad. All right, this one is from Queen Liz 2 for real. When I was 10 or so, I was staying at my grandma's over the summer break, and we were having breakfast. We barely started eating when the phone rang. She left the dining room, and I followed her, thinking that maybe they were my parents calling. When we returned, most of the food was gone. What? She asked me if I ate while she was on the phone, and I said no. There was no one else in the home, and there were no pets.
What the shit?
My grandma just shook it off, saying, we might have eaten more than she remembered, but I am absolutely positive that I had at most 2 bites of my toast by the time the phone rang.
Jesus.
Who the fuck is living in their house and eating their food?
Someone from the attic just scuttles down and just shovels it in.
You probably called from the attic. And it was like, hey, you won like a publisher clearinghouse. I need you to stay on hold real quick so I get your information. Ran downstairs,
just scooping it up.
A bunch of toast and eggs and ran back up.
Holy Lord.
You won publishing clearinghouse. Stay on the line with me for about 10 minutes, please.
That would be awesome, dude. Publisher's clearinghouse. I want to win that shit. That's wild, though. Food just goes missing.
It's so funny. Ugh.
Okay, this comes from Mimzu. I was at my mother-in-law's flat in Hungary. FYI, I don't speak Hungarian, so I couldn't be aware of any of this. I tend to go to bed later than my wife, and for the first couple of nights, I had trouble falling asleep because around midnight, I could hear the neighbor upstairs. It's an old block of flats made under the communist era. Walls are incredibly thin. Walk in high heels, which was very annoying. I could also hear little objects fall on the floor, and I told my wife it sounded like the plastic buttons you have on some clothes. Uh-oh. High heels, buttons just flying everywhere.
Oh, God.
Yeah. She looked at me funny and told me her niece hated to sleep in that room because she was scared by the noises coming from upstairs.
Yeah.
It just follows by this exorbitant creaking noise.
Like a four-legged creature.
And a banshee screaming. I said that was a bit exaggerated, and I thought it was until my wife told me the flat upstairs had been empty for the past 4 years. Neighbor died years before that, and guess what? She was a tailor, always nicely dressed and wearing high heels. Well, that took a mellow turn.
All right.
We're all just perverted out here.
This one is from Puzzle Headed. Every month around the 5th, I get a letter with exactly $23. No note.
The hell?
No return address. I've asked family, relatives, friends, and 2 past occupants of this apartment. Nobody knows anything about it. It is not addressed to me, but to my unique postal address. The total is now exactly $18.86.
Jeez.
Hang on here. I'm going to divide that by 23. Let's see if he's lying.
Cleet's doing some math.
Oh, damn, it is. Whew. I have just stashed it all I do not want to spend it in case it's cursed. That's weird.
I love the first comment. Jerry, your grandmother's on a very fixed income.
Jerry, your grandma's on a very fixed income.
$23. I want that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Someone just want to send us 23 random dollars a month?
Yeah.
Okay, this comes from Impressive Waltz 652. My neighbor died soon after he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. We had studio apartments with a shared wall. We were pals, but he always complained that my television was too loud. No issues, I would turn down the volume whenever he asked. The day after he died, I flipped on my TV. The volume control on the TV screen popped up and it appeared like someone was pressing the button to lower the sound. I wasn't touching the remote. I tried 2 or 3 times to increase the volume and again the sound decreased by itself. This had never happened before or since then. I wasn't scared or surprised. It's like my neighbor was wishing me goodbye. One last volume down request. He's like, I fucking told you it is too loud.
You're killing me over here.
Literally.
All right, this one is from Rebel1031. My grandpa had built a grandfather clock by hand for his wife back in the day. About 16 years ago, I had inherited the clock when he passed away. The chime mechanism on the clock is broken and my husband has tried to fix it but hasn't gotten it to work. It has chimed the hours twice over the years, seemingly out of the blue.
Damn.
The first time was late afternoon after my husband had met Chuck Yeager at an air show. My grandpa had been a test pilot during and after World War II, and my husband semi-jokingly asked Yeager if he knew him. He didn't, haha. My husband came home from the air show and was telling me about the conversation and the clock started chiming. Coincidence?
I think not.
The only other time was completely random, I thought. It chimed one morning and caught us by surprise. I said, out loud, I haven't forgotten you, Grandpa, and went about my day. The next day, I mentioned it to my mom, and she said, oh, that makes sense. His best friend died yesterday. Oh.
What the fuck?
Best friend's wife had called my mom to let her know the day before. I guess there hasn't been any event since. Then my grandpa wanted us to take notice of.
Wow.
Interesting.
Ghost clock. Okay, regular 6, drunk 7.
Hell yeah. You fight like a woman. That's not the drunk guy on Big Daddy.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother always loved roses and had them growing in her backyard. She died in December, and when we were gathered at our house for the funeral, my father happened to look out the back window and saw a bright red rose had blossomed. It stood out brightly against the snow. He brought it in and put it in a vase on the kitchen table. We all left for the funeral, and when we came back, the rose was on the living room floor. No one had been in the house while we were gone. My father is the most hard-headed person alive, but he was convinced it was his mother's way of telling him she was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Getting all sappy up in here.
Every rose has its thorn. And this one is from Torth Orc. We have a built-in wardrobe in our bedroom. About a month ago, our cat had managed to get herself inside, and I must have closed the door. I heard her meowing, and I opened the door, and she jumped out and walked off. Silly cat. I closed the wardrobe door. Less than 5 minutes later, I hear a meow in the wardrobe. I open the door, and to my surprise, our cat jumps out again and walks off. My partner and I were both stunned, as there is no way the wardrobe with the doors closed. Neither of us have any idea of how this happened. That's creepy.
Schrodinger's cat.
That's funny.
This comes from the Dirt Syndicate. Every Sunday for years, I would go down to the beach and do the traveling rings in Santa Monica. Huge friend group down there. I pretty much know everyone in the community. So basically all day long, I cycle doing the rings and sitting on the wall and playing my guitar. One evening, a bunch of the crew was going to get something to eat. I was going to catch a ride with a friend of mine who's also a musician. He wasn't ready to go yet, so I sat on the wall and played my guitar while I waited for him. Out of nowhere, this homeless dude shuffles up carrying a big gulp full of booze. Drunk as fuck, etc. Seriously, one of the most fucked up, dirty down and out of people I've ever seen. So he says, I know you're probably going to say no, but would you let me play your guitar for a minute? Now, just to be clear, I never let anyone play my guitar, not even people that I know and trust who are musicians. I'm very protective of my things, but there was something about this guy. Couldn't quite explain it. Something told me to let him play. So I said fuck it, and handed him my guitar. He started playing this fingered style cover of a Smashing Pumpkin song that was so fucking good it made the hair on my arms and neck stand up. Then he started to sing. Again, amazing voice. I was blown away. So I started softly singing along with him until he finished the song. He says, "You know that song?" "Yeah, man, it's a great song. Your cover is amazing. Thought that was awesome. Do you have any original songs?" "Yeah, sure." So he starts playing this beautiful song, fingered style again, so melodic and sad. Again, my hair stood on end. He started singing and it was just mind-blowing. So beautiful. One of the saddest, most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Then halfway through he got overwhelmed with emotion, choked up and stopped playing for a second, wiped tears away, then went back to playing and finished the song. Holy shit, dude, that was amazing. Sorry about that, apologizing for the moment where he got choked up. "Nah, it's all good, man." He says, "It's far from it." Then he handed me the guitar back, picked up his big gulp full of booze, and shuffled away. I've been going to the same beach, same spot for years and haven't seen that guy since. I have no idea who he is or where he went.
Legend has it he just walked into the ocean.
Jesus. That's weird, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
A big gulp full of booze. "Hey, man, can I play it?" And then just bust out some
Smashing
bangers.
Pumpkins is amazing. I used to love them when I was younger.
They're all right.
Yeah, they're your K-pop, Britain. I get it. All right, this one is from Balak4862. I had just picked up a coworker from her house heading to work. We were just talking and chatting. "How you doing?"
How you doing? Hey, how are ya? It's my birthday.
"How'd your weekend go?" type of stuff. We were maybe 5 miles away from her house when all of a sudden we realized we are in a town pulling into Works parking lot. I don't know, Works parking lot? I'm not sure what that is, but all right. We both kind of look at each other, not sure what happened. We had gone near 20 miles in a blink of an eye. And what cemented this experience as something that actually happened and not simply losing track of time is the time. It should have taken us almost half an hour to get to work. Okay, so they're driving to work. Instead, the time from when I picked her up was 2:30, and when the time we got to the building was 12:40. There is no way in hell we could have gotten there that fast. From that point on, we called that experience the time we jumped, like from the movie Jumper. I have no explanation why. I'll also state, I don't believe in the paranormal or supernatural, so this experience is one of those things that make me question my own sanity.
I feel like this shit always happens to people that quote unquote don't believe in that shit. Right? It's always like, "I don't believe in it, but goddamn, I was probed."
I'm one of the biggest skeptics you've ever seen, but when that alien put that thing up my butt, I remember.
I was a believer for sure. I was whistling like a pig. Okay, this comes from Raptor6722. I was coming home from work one day when my family was on vacation. I would close, so this was around 3 a.m. I opened the front door and heard a radio playing music for 2 seconds before being switched off. I grabbed a knife and checked every corner of the house. I'm not superstitious, but that one scared me good, and I have no idea what it was. See, I told you.
I am the least superstitious person you've ever met.
It was like 2 seconds of Smashing Pumpkins. Sounded like a blitzed-ass hobo singing in my corner.
It's a situation even a hard-headed skeptic couldn't dismiss.
Someone like me who doesn't believe in anything. I was spooked. I pissed my pants
I'm
even.
zeros and ones. I'm 100% logical. All right, this one is from Captain Undesirable.
Oh.
Day after my dog died, I booted up Skyrim.
Oh.
There was a random percentage encounter where a companion animal can find you. Never happened in all of my time playing, but it did this time. A stray dog found me, and I cried. That's so fucking sad.
Cried.
But like, such a weird coincidence, man. Synchronicity at its finest.
This comes from Believe Me, dude. I don't know. I'm not superstitious or anything, but this one might be true. One time when I was around 13 or 14, me and my cousins were downstairs playing on our mini hoop when we heard a deep, scratchy voice yell, "Who's down there?" We had a nice, new, big house with a security system that chimes when doors and windows are open. Wow, fucking show off. And an outside dog that barks at everything. So they've got this brand new, massive house, and they still keep the dog outside. Fucking pricks. No way anyone just slipped inside in broad daylight. Even if it was an intruder, why would they just yell down and leave without taking anything? So I grabbed my jewel-encrusted pistol, and I said, "Calm down, you motherfucker. I'm not superstitious."
Oh my God, bro.
I just made that up.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, right?
Badass motherfucker. So I was watching this YouTube video,
Yeah.
and it was about this people who die when they like eat certain things, and a doctor explains what happens, or like they just get really sick and they get better. But someone like cooked their chicken in NyQuil and ate it and drank the NyQuil after.
Fuck?
And they were talking about when he was hallucinating that he wasn't sure, but he believed his dad came in the room when he was hardcore hallucinating, opened the door, and was like, he's like, "What are you doing? Playing video games? You winning today, son?" And then shuts the door. Pretty sure that was a hallucination, bro.
I don't know. Right. Sounds like something the dad would do. Just out of the blue. You winning today, bro?
And slams the door shut.
Like comes off the hinges.
Pretty sure that guy died, though.
Wall cracks.
Yeah.
Why would you cook chicken in NyQuil?
Because of memes, bro. People on TikTok, they see it and they're like, let's do it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
This one is from Munch Bite.
Munch Bite. Munch Bite.
This one is from Munch Bite 9284. I used to work for security for a secured building. I worked at night, and there were only 3 doors in the entire building, but only one used on a regular basis. Other 2 magnetically locked. I'm not one of those people who believe in ghosts, there it is, or whatever. But I kept hearing what sounded like somebody moving heavy objects around in the building when there shouldn't be other people there, and I'd already checked and secured the building.
Guess we just need to like stop believing in shit.
I'm a fucking skeptic, but anyway. I hear the sounds often enough that I stopped checking because I would never find anything. Then one night, the officer above me, guy in charge of security of the building and a few others, was doing his rounds and came to check. I was at my post. In the middle of talking to him and reporting that the building had been cleared and checked every hour for the past nearly 6 hours, we hear the noise. He asked why I reported the building clear if somebody is there, and I told him the sound happens regularly, and it must have an HVAC thing or something. Then we hear somebody yell, "Fuck."
What?
And the sound stops abruptly.
Fuck!
We both checked the build floor to ceiling and nobody was there. We checked the closets and under the desks and nothing. He made me call in the day security team and tell them we had a breach for them to not be able to find anybody either.
What? Hey, just so you guys know, we had a breach. Someone's yelling, "Fuck."
Now, this is a big deal because the information in the building was very sensitive, and nobody was allowed to leave until we found the person. TLDR, I was a security and a ghost screamed profanity.
Even ghosts fuck up on the job, I guess. That's great.
Oh, that's good. It's good.
Okay, this comes from Spacey Daisy. When I was a kid, 6 or 7, I was young. No shit. I was swimming in my grandma's pool and seeing how long I could hold my breath underwater. I stayed under too long at one point and scrambled for the surface. I remember fear. I remember my lungs burning. I remember seeing the water surface a few inches above me. My vision went black, but I didn't pass out. I breached the water surface and finally got oxygen, but in the seconds when my vision went black and I surfaced, I had, it's hard to describe, a vision like an old memory, but not of anything I had done. It was so vivid that after 30 plus years, I still remember every single detail. It was a vision or memory of a child's hand, my point of view, making an orange-red clay pot, and there were adult hands helping with the clay. It was like a picture in time. It's hard to explain, but it felt like a memory of a past life. Even as a kid, I was like, what the hell was that? That wasn't my memory. That wasn't my experience. I've never told anyone that, ever.
Damn.
Well, he almost died, right? The veil is so thin, he saw like what would happen in his next life.
Or previous life, probably, you know?
Or next. He's
Okay.
a little pottery kid.
This one is from Crafty Scholar 3902. I was about 13 or 14, and I was working on something downstairs in my family room at my parents' house. I was using some electrical tape and set it down beside me while I put a piece on my project.
What?
Next thing I know, I heard a super loud thud from the wall next to me. I looked over, and the tape I had been using was sitting there, almost like it had been thrown. I've never got out of that basement quicker.
This is from Doot Drop. I know that most of you will think this is just pure coincidence, but it is just baffling to me. That's how he starts it. When I was in my early teen years, me and my best friend used to walk around and go into different stores just for something to do. There was a Rite Aid, retail pharmacy for those who don't have them, that was in our neighborhood that we would frequent a lot. Whether it was to buy drinks and snacks, look at makeup, or just to use the bathroom. This particular thing apparently happened in 2011. Fast forward to 2022, I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year now, and he's been the assistant manager at that same Rite Aid for about 3 years now. One day, he called me and asked if I had ever lost a phone or an SD card in that Rite Aid. I hadn't. I have absolutely no memory of ever losing an SD card of mine, and I've never lost a phone. Or if I had lost an SD card, it would have also been a very miserable time for me because that means I would have lost all of my pictures, downloaded music, porn, contacts, etc. And as a teenage girl in 2011, those were very important things in my life.
You snuck porn in there, don't lie.
I told him no, I'd never lost either of those things, and definitely not in that Rite Aid. I asked why. He told me he was clearing out the lost and found drawer with his coworker, and they came across an SD card in a little clear plastic box. His coworker was able to put it in his phone because he had an Android, and my boyfriend really wasn't paying any mind to it. But when his coworker started telling him what he was finding, which were videos and pictures from concerts, went to concerts very, very frequently around that time, and also that there's a bunch of pictures of a girl with blue hair. My boyfriend's ears sort of perked up. I've had blue hair on and off ever since 2011. Sure enough, he looked at the photos and they were of me from 2011. This was an SD card from one of my old phones from 2011. It's now 11 years later that he's finding this. It's been sitting in that lost and found drawer for 11 years, and now my boyfriend, out of all people, just so happened to find it. I have no recollection of losing an SD card, especially not in a Rite Aid, which we've already established. I even searched my social media from around that time. I tweeted every moment of my life around that time, and there was nothing. Surely I would have tweeted about losing my SD card and being mad or upset about it, but there was nothing. I do not know where that SD card came from. I definitely don't know how it ended up in that lost and found, and I don't know how or why it's been sitting in that drawer for 11 years. And why, out of all people, my boyfriend was the one to discover it.
This is where the conspiracy happens. It was her boyfriend stalking her for all those years, taking pictures and everything, snapping it up, following her to concerts and everything. This one is from Maleficent Scale 296. Moved back to the area I grew up in after a couple of decades away. Showing my teen daughter places we used to go. Went to the mall, which was almost completely defunct. The signs on the outside had been taken down. The theater had been closed. We went inside this. What had been a big mall and a food court was gone. Carousel was gone. There was just a As Seen on TV store and a Nordstrom outlet store left. Went home, told my husband how melancholy it was. He couldn't believe it. It had been so vibrant. The next weekend, he and I drove up there so we could look. We pulled into a very full, active parking lot. The mall was fully open, outdoor signs intact, theater open, food court open, carousel still running. This was a few years ago, and it still feels as dumbfounding today as it was then. I was speechless. Went home, got my daughter, and drove back. She was speechless. I have no explanation, just none.
Okay, this comes from Deleted. I woke up one night after a heavy snowfall, and there was a weird glow outside. I went outside and everything. I mean, like the air itself was infused with this pastel-like green-purple glow. It was easily bright enough to read a book at like 1 or 2 a.m., and the heavy cloud cover blocked any full moon. It was like a magical fairy world. As best I can tell, the white cloud cover, along with everything blanketed with snow, made whatever ambient light just ping-pong all over the place and light everything up. Never seen anything like that before or since.
This one is from Eblamo. Was on a couch in my apartment once watching TV. I apparently woke up and was driving. I was terrified because I had no memory of getting into my car, go anywhere, or anything. I didn't drink or use any sort of drugs. I was not on any prescription medications. The strange part is that I knew about what time it was when I sat down on the couch. It was around 8 p.m. or so. I know this because I looked at the cable box and it told me. I was watching The Deadliest Catch on the Discovery Channel. When I woke up, driving in my car, I was inexplicably almost 2 hours away. I live in North Tampa area and was just outside of Gainesville. The time stamped 8:38 p.m. on my clock. I didn't know where I was. I was just on the highway. So I took the next exit just to pull off and figure out what the hell was going on. That's when I realized there I was. I have zero way to account for leaving my apartment, being inside my own vehicle, or heading north out of the city for no reason at all. I was single and living alone at the time, and to this day, I have no idea what happened.
Jeez.
Weird.
Okay, this is from Otesaurus0. First of all, sorry for my English. My dog literally vanished someday. We locked the house with the dog in it to go get some food. When we came back half an hour later, he wasn't in the house anymore. There was no possible exit for him. No windows, no holes, nothing. We were there to have seen him inside the house before we left. The only explanation we have to this day is kind of crazy and we can't prove it, so we'll never be sure. But here it is. One of our neighbors was an old lady. We were nice with her despite the fact that she was kind of a cold type of person. Sometimes we did some mutual favors like in a typical neighbor's relationship. But over time, she started to become more and more weird. Later, we've learned she had developed a form of dementia. It was quite sad to watch her become more and more crazy. In the end, her son put her in a mental institution for old people. A few years later, we started connecting the dots. Before she drifted into insanity, we once gave her a set of our house keys so she could water the plants and take our mail during our vacations. She kindly accepts, and that year, we bring her back a nice gift from our vacations to thank her, and she gave us back our spare keys. But now we think, at that time, she knew she was already starting to lose her mind without anyone really noticing, because a few months later, coming back from the grocery store, we found her inside the house. We locked the house, yet she found a way to get inside. It was really disturbing, and we discovered that she had another key. The only possible explanation was that she had a copy of our key while we were on vacation. So, back to the vanishing of our dog. Our theory is that this crazy lady had, in fact, multiple copies of our house key, and that she let our dog out, or she brought him somewhere else, or even killed him.
What the fuck?
That's the only possible explanation we have after all those years. But it's so crazy that it's hard to believe, even for us, and we just can't be sure. As for the old lady herself, she sadly died a few years later in the mental institution. I was angry with her for a time, of course, but ultimately her story was mainly sad and painful. She was a victim of her own decaying brain, and there was nothing she could have done against it. In this story, I've lost my childhood best friend.
He was a good boy.
He was a Briard, and his name was Volyo, which means kind thug in French. For years, I felt guilty over his vanishing, replaying the scene in my head over and over to check if I haven't missed something. But in the end, we'll never know, and that's exactly what is the worst.
That's so sad.
God damn.
All right, well, let's jump to some ghost rods. We're gonna ask some spooky ghosts some questions. You guys still can't see us on camera, but maybe one day you will, and we'll let you know if they say yes or no to our questions.
Right. And for those who may be joining us for the first time, ghost rods, we hold them out and we ask questions, and if the rods cross, it means yes. If they go away, it means no.
What's a good starting question? I don't even know. Let me, let's ask if Chris is here, huh? Chris?
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Chris, are you here with us tonight?
Wow, no movement.
Getting nothing, people.
Chris, come back.
You can blame it all on me. Is there anybody with us tonight? Any ghosts?
Oh, they're crossing.
We got a cross.
So Chris isn't here, but we do have ghosts.
All right. Are you a female?
We had that one really aggressive, violent ghost that said it was a female that did bad things.
But
here.
to be clear, it went right, correct? So that it actually said no, and I just assumed it was
right.
It's a dude. So we got a dude with us. Are
you an evil spirit? Are you an upset ghost?
Are you upset?
No. Wow, that's a strong no.
Okay.
That's good.
Are you okay with me? Are you okay with me living in this house?
Same one, no. So it's not angry, he just doesn't like you living here.
Well, I'm not leaving, so fuck you.
Are you gonna make Cleet leave one day? Nothing. Okay. That's good. Cleet, you're drunk. You're not even holding them straight.
Did you die in this house?
Nothing. Oh? No, nothing. Okay. Neither yes or no. Does someone you know... Has someone you know died in this house? Oh, shit.
I swear I didn't move it.
It's a big yes. Crossed pretty quick.
Did you kill him? Hang on.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
We're gonna stop.
That's a twist.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Did you kill him?
Chill, Rods.
Did you kill him?
Have you murdered in this house? Okay.
I'll let you hold it.
That's
Since
a yes.
You're saying I'm fucking it up.
I didn't say anything of the kind.
Okay, sir. Sober Britain.
Is Britain sober? Okay. Is Chris with us now? Nothing.
Dude, Chris left a while ago.
Hope not. I like Chris.
Um,
How are there more than one ghost with us right now? Nothing.
just one. Just this guy. Do you know if there's like any demons in this house? Said yes, bro. We got demons.
Okay. It's not good, man. You got a kid now.
Well, they're happy demons, right? Happy, nice, pretty good people. Nothing.
Nothing. That doesn't necessarily mean they're bad.
Yeah, they're just indifferent to the human suffering and pain.
Did you want some Screwball peanut butter whiskey?
It's pretty good.
It's really good, actually.
Got nothing. Nobody's moving. Do you like red rum?
Rad Rob.
Rad rum.
Was anyone murdered in this house?
It's not saying yes or no, bro.
Has someone died in this house?
No way no one has. Dude, you're getting blanks, bro.
I know.
Are you touching the top of that, though, with your finger? You're doing that.
I'm not touching the top.
You were touching the top. See, now it's moving. So we fucked up the whole time. You're drunk, bro. You see that now? We gotta start all our questions over again.
God damn it.
You were touching the tip.
I'm soused.
All right, what were we asking?
You were touching the tip.
You were. So we gotta redo all those questions. So I don't remember any of them. Elaborate. Okay.
Is there any demons in this house? I think that was asked. We got a yes for that one before. There's no way I was touching it. Has anyone died in this house? Ooh, it's kind of moving a little bit.
There it goes.
Oh.
There it goes. There it goes. It's a yes.
Okay, so someone has died in this house. Let's reset it. Come on.
Was it a painful death? Retro, yes it was.
Oh God.
Okay. All right. Hang on here. We're gonna straighten out the rods. We're gonna ask you an important question. Did you inflict this pain on this person?
Okay. No. Nothing. Well, no. It's literally nothing. So someone died a painful death. They didn't answer yes or no if they caused it. Do you know who caused the painful death?
Going to know, buddy.
No. Okay. Damn, that's a hard
Oh
one.
no, that's him.
So he knows someone died, but doesn't know who. I don't know. Let's ask again. Do you want... I didn't ask a fucking question,
No,
bud.
dude. Just don't ask any more questions.
Are you done with us asking you questions?
Nope.
Do you like us talking to you?
Creepy's going yes, man. It did yes.
Touching the tips. Okay. So it does like communication.
Okay.
This is weird.
Uh-huh.
We got to do this on camera once.
I know.
We'll figure out a way to do it. I mean, not figure out a way to do it. It's fucking easy
Said
to do.
yes to that.
Holy shit. So you want to be seen doing this. Okay. So it wants... Good Lord, it won't even go back. That's weird. It's easy to make a video. But what I'm saying is we'll do it eventually.
Did previous people who lived in this house do bad things?
It looked like it was trying. Oh.
Yeah, there's a yes. Yeah, he did. I know it. He did. I saw it. I Googled it. You son of a bitch.
Okay, so that's a yes. Is this house safe?
I love how it never says
Neither
yes
or no, just empty.
So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that's speculative.
So, do ghosts watch me sleep?
No, they used to.
Yeah. Guess not anymore.
Is anyone like sitting on Cleet's chest while he sleeps?
Are there ghosts that cause me sleep paralysis specifically in this house? Nothing, man. Weird.
Did we get another subscriber on our show? I mean, the answer is yes, but it's not moving.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Okay. Should we vote for? Just kidding. I don't know. You got any other questions? Yes.
You should vote for whoever.
Yeah, you should vote for
you should vote for someone.
Yeah, whoever it is. It's like really voting is really important to democracy.
Are you afraid? A little movement, but nothing.
Is there any scary things in this house that I should be afraid of? Oh, that's kind of
That was a hard no. Damn, okay. Good for you, man.
What a peaceful house. All right, I think that's it. We good?
Yeah.
We done? All right, guys. That's it.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up. Thank you again for joining us for our Reddit thread here. So we want to just take a minute here and give a really big thank you to our newest subscriber of the show, Devin C. is our 4th subscriber. So thank you very much. He also wrote in a little piece of fan mail that we're going to save to discuss at a later time. That's a more pertinent show. But again, thank you so much for the support. We're now up to 4 subscriptions. So Haley, Lou, Conklin family, and Devin C. Thank you all for your subscription. It's tremendously helpful. And anyone else who really wants to support the show, we will post the link in the description. Again, the show will always be free for those who want to listen, but your contributions will help us with any future content. So thank you very much.
Even $1 will make us holler. Anyways, if you're listening to us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe as it really helps us get us out there. And as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next time.